Hello, and welcome to Glass with a Class. I'm June Anderson, and I'm glad you're here today to hear a little more about depression glass and see some pretty pieces. Then we'll have a tiny English lesson, just because we can. First, let's look at today's glass pattern. This is American Sweetheart. It was manufactured by Macbeth Evans Glass Company from 1930 to 1936. They made this little lovely in pink, ruby, cobalt, monax, and some cremax, and color-trimmed monax. I don't have an example of the cremax, but I'm told it's a gray color and pretty rare. This is an example of American Sweetheart in monax, which is a kind of opaque, translucent-y, milky color. Some of their monax had color on the rims, normally red, yellow, blue, or green. This is a creamer and sugar. Here is a sherbet in their pink color. Isn't it just so pretty? Makes me want a bowl of sherbet right now. As you can see, American Sweetheart is very dainty and pretty. This was a pretty durable pattern and is fairly easy to collect. Since it ran for 7 years and is durable, there are quite a few pieces to be found. Shop around in online auction sites and antique sites and in antique stores and thrift stores. Also, you can go to glass shows. Do an online search for those because they're scattered over the country. Makes a great road trip if you're up to it. You can also join a depression glass group on social media. They can also point you to the different glass shows. Not only can you find American Sweetheart these ways, but you can also find many different depression glass patterns in these places. Some are better than others. And as far as the groups on social media go, you'll find people who are serious collectors and some who are very generous with their help in getting you started in collecting glass. Then there are those like me that like to collect but are still pretty novice with it. I'm certainly no expert, but I like learning about the glass and passing what I've learned on to others. There are some really nice people there on the social media sites, very knowledgeable and ready to help you identify your patterns. Some you'd call just downright experts. I don't know if you can see the pretty scroll work on these or not. It might be a little easier on the pink one. Pretty, some of it's on the bottom that you can see. Anyway, well, let's set these aside and talk about our little English lesson today. We're on our 5th installment of our 8-session class on the 8 parts of speech. Today's part of speech is the adverb. An adverb, as you may remember from elementary school, describes a verb, or as we used to say, modifies a verb. I could get really deep into this and say that an adverb also modifies adjectives, other adverbs, phrases, or entire sentences, but I'm not even going there. You'll get the gist of what an adverb is just from our little lesson today. For example, walking to the house doesn't tell you much, except that someone was walking. The verb is walking. But if I say slowly walking to the house, you begin to wonder more about the situation. Like, why was that person walking slowly? Slowly was the adverb because it describes the verb walking. Here are a couple of sentences using adverbs. The bird was chirping outside the window. You're picturing a pretty little bird sitting outside a window chirping in the sun and enjoying a lazy day. What if I say, the bird was frantically chirping outside the window? Now you're wondering what was wrong. Was there an animal trying to get the eggs or baby birds? Why was the bird going wild? That one little adverb, frantically, puts a whole other spin on the sentence. Adverbs can make a big difference in your speech or in your writing. I didn't find American Sweetheart or monax or adverb in the Bible, but I did find glass. It's in Job chapter 28, verse 17, where wisdom is being discussed. It says, gold or glass cannot equal it, nor can it be exchanged for articles of fine gold. That's certainly true, isn't it? Wisdom is definitely more precious than gold. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Glass with a Class, and will join us next time when we'll look at more pretty glass and talk about number 6 in our lesson on the 8 parts of speech. See you then. God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.